Hey, this is Mrs. McMahon, and today we're talking about mean absolute deviation. Okay, we've already learned how to do the mean, so now we are learning how to do the absolute deviation of it. And we're going to do that by finding the distance between each data value and the mean, and then finding the average of that. There are 4 ways to do it. It is a little tedious, however, I'm going to walk you through it, and it should be pretty easy. Okay, I made you a little cheat sheet that we're going to walk through together because typically if we go through it once or twice, it's a very easy thing for you to get. So the first thing you want to do is locate our little cheat sheet that you're going to put into your interactive notebook. So let's work a mean absolute deviation problem together. First thing that we need is some data that everyone can understand. So we're going to talk about heart rates by calculating beats per minute. So I've taken 5 students' heart rates. So let's collect that data. So we have 64, 68, another 64, 60, and 72. Now we're going to go use this data to calculate the mean absolute deviation. Oftentimes you're going to notice that that is called MAD, M-A-D, for mean absolute deviation. So the first thing that we have to do is calculate the mean. Now we should know how to calculate mean at this point. All you have to do is add up the pieces of data and divide it by however many pieces that is. So we're going to find the sum of 64 plus 68 plus 64 plus 60 plus 72. Since there are 5 pieces of data there, we're going to divide that by 5. If you put that into your calculator, you'd have 65 and 6/10. Now for step 2, we have to find the sum of the absolute values of each of those. In order to do that, we take the value and we subtract our mean. So let's start with the first one. We have 64 minus 65 and 6/10. Then we have 68 minus 65 and 6/10. Now we have another 64 minus 65 and 6/10. You kind of get how that works? So now we have 60 minus 65 and 6/10 and 72 minus 65 and 6/10. Now we're taking the absolute value of each one of those pieces of data. Remember the absolute value is the distance from 0 on the number line, so it's always going to be positive. When we add those together, we're going to have 17 and 6/10. Okay, and I've shown there how I came up with that sum. Okay, so now we have to find the average by dividing the sum and the number of values. So we're going to take 17 and 6/10, divide it by our 5 absolute values, and we get 3 and 52/100. So our mean absolute deviation here is 3 and 52/100. Although it's tedious, this is really an easy process. Okay, so take a minute to look over it. If there are any questions, jot them down, and we will go over them in class.